Hi everyone. Today we'll be talking about typography. So basically, what is typography? Typography is basically fonts. When you go on the internet, there's many different kinds of font, and we'll be talking about typography today. And the first thing that we would like to discuss about is what consideration needs to go into choosing a font. So there's three main things. First, know the different types of font. Second, know the purpose used for certain fonts. And third, know what font is the best for the design and layout. I have an example on the next slide. This is a menu for a Italian restaurant created by myself. Um, and you can see that it's using this cursive font. Um, and if you look at the top, the name of the restaurant, Italiano, it really looks nice because that's the type of that's the kind of restaurant it is. You want to have this kind of texture, this font, so that they know what kind of restaurant it's talking about. But if you look down here, all the menus are in script, and um, sometimes there's people that really can't read script, and also the main point is that it's really hard to read. It's really not easy on the eye. You can't really tell from far if that's pizza ZZA or GGA. It's really hard to read. But if you look at this one on the right, still has uh, the same restaurant name and the same font, and then on the bottom it shows in a more easier um, font that you can see, and it's really easy to see. It's easy on the eye. So this is what it's really important. Next, the role of contrast, hierarchy, space, size, and setting. So first of all, we'll talk about contrast. Contrast. So you can see that contrast is um, what the font color and the relationship between the font color and the background. Um, I made this half black and half white, and then I put the font in different on the opposite color, so it's really easy to see. You can really read it. But if the font was the same color all the way through, you will probably not read the first part. And most of the time, the website has um, a darker background with a light font color, or a light background with a dark font color, and it's really hard to read the black color, because most people, when they read a book, it's most likely that's to say that the books are in white pages and on black fonts. So it's really hard to read in a dark background with light font color, but it is still okay if it's a short paragraph or short words. Not as long as it's really long that you have to read a lot. It's really not easy on the eye. It gets really tired. So if you want to put something really long, I think it will be better to use a light background with the darker font color. Okay, hierarchy. Hierarchy is basically, I I have already talked about this before, but it's what is important and what is not important. And most of the time people use the size of the text, the font. You can see that most of the time people would put the main title big because it's more important than the subtitle, and the content really small because it's not really important than the main title. If you put it in on the right side, on the like this, where the main title is really small and subtitle is really huge, it's really hard to look for things. It's really hard for people to look for what they really want to know or and read and see. So this is one way, by using the font size. Another way is like the contrast. I have already talked about contrast by using lighters, um, by maybe you making it gray, the font color gray, making it lighter. Also, like putting colors might be another one. Okay, that's hierarchy. The next one is space. So space is basically how many space you have in your web page. Um, so I created something like this. If you compare these two words, it's really hard to, it's not really hard to look for the word main inside this paragraph, because I made it bold. But if you have a lot of things inside the page, it's the word main wouldn't really stand out. But if you have a space between it, it really stands out, and it's really easy for people to see, and they have a place to rest their eyes on. So don't be afraid to leave spaces in the web pages that you create, because these are really important. And the last one is size. Don't set body text below 10 or 12 pixels. If possible, make it bigger. Even though there are many web pages that has small text, it's really better to have a larger text so that people can read it easily. Some people have weak eyes and it's really hard for them to read. So I prefer to have a bigger font if possible. And even if you have this coolest design, if it's really too small for people to see, it's worth nothing. It's just a small dot or a small something that people wouldn't really recognize the details. So I think the bigger the better. And finally, I would like to introduce a web page that I think that has done the typography really well. This one is McDonald's. I think everybody knows it. Like you can see that they have this logo on the top, really nicely have these navigation bar in the bottom, and there's this handwriting style typography, the font. So it's really nice, and you still can read it. It's not that really big, because I think it's not a really important part. But if you go to the menu, the full menu, you can see that they use the really light background so that the pictures can stand out. What they're selling, the foods, the hamburgers. So I think it was really a nice choice for them to use this white background and have this contrast. If you look closely, there's different sizes of words: burgers and sandwiches, chicken, breakfast, salads, and then in those small subtitles, there's all these different types of hamburgers and menus. At first, it's really hard to see. Maybe it might be really hard to see the names, but if you hover over it, they'll give you they'll show you the name more bigger. So that's not a big problem. And also, if you can see that these words are not really dark, it's if they're using a light gray, because what's important for them is the picture of their food, so that people can see and decide which which menu they want to order and they want to eat, instead of just reading the name. People will definitely use their eyes and look at the pictures more than the words. And if they pick one of those, find one what they really want, they can hover over and they can read the descriptions. So I think this was really well done, a really great example of typography. And another one is the New York Times. Like you can see, they use this old English type font, um, and it's really hard to read if you're not really used to it. But this is okay because this is like their logo. Um, it's like something that people will see and recognize by the shapes, and people will um, people will see this shape and recognize it. Also, if you look down in the page, there's different sizes of the fonts. They're making a hierarchy, creating a hierarchy by using the different sizes and also the different contrast um, of the fonts. They're using a lighter gray for the author of the article, and then a darker gray for the first sentences. And then they use these blue for the titles of these. So it's really nice and organized. Although there's a lot of content, it's really busy. But newspapers are usually busy. So if you look at news, everything is busy, so it's not a problem. And the size, you can see that there are many small words, but it's okay because if you click on one of these the articles, it will give you a better look. And on the internet, people can enlarge their browser size, their font size by their own. But if it's possible, it's better. The bigger the better. But since these articles are really long, if you make it really a huge font, it would be a really long page. So I think this is okay to have a smaller font. Okay, so that's all for today. So thank you for watching, and enjoy.